With us now, Ashleigh Larkin. She's the head of the school at Oakland Early College. Ashleigh, the last time we had you on, you had just started the position. How are you doing? How are you adjusting?
Yes. Hi, Ronnie. Thank you for having me. It's definitely been an adjustment in this environment. I will say in education, I never thought I would have to think about contact tracing and sanitizing and everything else that we're thinking about. But the staff and students and everyone at the college through Oakland Early College have really been very welcoming and helpful. And so it's been a positive transition.
How do you layer in those new issues and those new requirements as more and more students start to return to the classroom?
There's a lot of late nights, I will say. So, the district has really been great in putting out specific processes for each building. And so they've given great direction and guidance, and we've been able to follow the plans that were mandated for the district. So it's been a pretty smooth process overall in terms of incorporating those things into our daily routine.
So while we know you've been in education for quite some time, you're still new to this position. Happy 2021, and how is it going so far?
Thank you. Same to you. It's been going well. I think there still is some anxiety about everything going on, but I think there's also a sense of hope and renewed energy for things to come. And so we're trying to capitalize on that and really provide a positive environment for everyone involved.
And you know what, Ashley, if we can actually kind of back up just a little bit, because we've interviewed you before and also other individuals about Oakland Early College, but anyone that may be joining us for the first time, can you give us a little bit of a background on Oakland Early College?
Absolutely. So Oakland Early College is a high school. It is on OCC's Orchard Ridge campus. So we're actually housed in the H building on campus in Farmington Hills. All of our students are dual enrolled. So they take high school classes at the same time they'll be taking college courses. Our students can earn at a minimum 30 credits to transfer to a college or university, all the way up to an associate's degree by the end of their 13th year.
This is like one of the best programs out there. And I think there are so many students and so many parents that I don't know if they realize that it's out there, but also the value in it. Can you imagine graduating high school and you already have basically your associate's degree? Like that is such a huge head start in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a fantastic program. Our students really value their education. They're excited about the opportunity that they have. And we are in our recruiting and marketing season. So, we definitely want to make sure that people know about our school and the opportunities that exist.
So tell us who does qualify and how can they, because I would imagine there is a selection process as well.
Mhm. Yes. So we're able to take students entering ninth grade all the way through the end of first semester of 11th grade. If they are a ninth grade student, they must have completed Algebra 1 already in their eighth grade year. So that is a requirement. Typical grade point average is anywhere from a 2.0 to a 4.0. We really view, several different factors when considering acceptance for a student. So they first have a family meeting with me where we get to know one another and we talk about the ins and outs of the program. If they feel like it might be the right fit for them, the second step is a formal interview with myself, the counselor at OEC, and typically about 3 students from OEC. And then from there, they would send in grades, attendance, transcripts, essays. They do have to write a few essays if they're applying. And we would review all of that before making a decision on acceptance.
So, and Ashley, how many students are accepted into the program each semester? Is it by semester?
It is by semester. We definitely accept more students for the first semester, the start of the year, than we do the second semester. Just as an example, we have 4 students coming in for the second semester that will be new to us. But typically it's anywhere from 40 upwards of about 60 students per class that we would welcome in.
And do they have to just be students at West Bloomfield, or is it open to other school districts as well? How does that work?
It's open to any student in Oakland County.
I just think this is great. And I do understand, like, normally they would actually go to the college campus, but that's not happening right now because of the pandemic. Are all of the classes right now remote? What's it looking like for some of these students who are getting into the program for the first time?
So all of the college classes are remote. OCC will be remaining remote through the end of this term. They're still talking about what summer term is going to look like, so we're not sure about that yet. But currently they are all virtual. And then we will be welcoming students back for high school classes next Thursday.
Can you just think about that? Like, these high school students have not been on the high school campus since what, last March? They're going to have, I think a lot of them are going to appreciate actually having to get up and get dressed and to change out of their pajamas and going to school for the first time in a year. So, when you take something away, you appreciate it more when you get it back, right?
Absolutely. And our students are very lucky because of the size of the school. They were able to return in the fall. So they were in session until November and then had to go home when the district went virtual again. So, but it's been a 10-week time frame. So we said it's almost been like a summer off and we're welcoming them back again.
So for the students that are able to get into the program, what is it like for them? Do they have very specific classes that they have to take? Are they like prerequisite classes? And how does that transfer over into their high school transcripts?
So our students all have to follow the Michigan Merit Curriculum for high school students. So they would take the same classes based on high school courses that any other student would in Oakland County to meet all of their requirements for the state. And then depending on whatever field they're interested in or whatever their path might be, they would meet with a college counselor to determine which classes they should take.
I always think I'm kind of like Doogie Howser. Like, I'm in high school, but I'm in college.
Yeah.
But with that, in some of their classes, because they're not actually going on to the college campus right now, but if they don't keep up their grades, can they fail out of the program?
It's very, very rare. I think that, the whole process of family meeting, interview, reviewing everything really ensures that not only is it the right fit for the student, but it's also the right fit for OEC and OCC. And so I think that that's why that process is so important, is because we definitely know that we're getting students that are committed to the program and that will benefit from the program.
Is there an additional cost to the student and their family members to be able to take part in this?
There is no additional cost. It is tuition free, so the students do not pay tuition. And we also pay for any required textbooks. The only fees that the family would incur is if the particular course requires a consumable item. So just as a quick example, if they're enrolled in a culinary program and they have to buy their chef's coat, that's something that the family would be responsible for.
But still, when you take this into consideration and the high cost of college right now, even at community college, a family can really save a lot of money if they're able to take advantage of this program.
Absolutely. And that piece is huge. And not only the cost saving, but our students really have an advantage in that they're learning how to navigate college before many other students will. And so they know who to talk to, they know the right avenues, to channel. And so they're really at an advantage in that regard.
I know that you're fairly new to this position as well, but are you able to share with us what has been the interest in this program, like previous pandemic and now post-pandemic, or in the middle of the pandemic? Are more students trying to look into trying to take advantage of this, or not so much because they want that college experience, which they're not really getting remotely? It's kind of like, hey, I'm in another remote class, just like high school.
So to be honest with you, we're just picking up in that season. So we don't have the data yet on pre-pandemic and in the middle of the pandemic. But I will tell you that we've had several calls. I have several family meetings on my calendar and interviews scheduled. And so I know that we'll be seeing the same numbers, if not a greater number of students that are interested in the program.
Ashleigh, what are you looking for when accepting these students?
So when accepting students, we really look to, our crest, which we have 3 pillars on our crest, which are college, culture, and community. So we want students that are dedicated to their education. We want students that are givers, not takers. So students that contribute to society and want to participate in service learning projects. And we also want students that are kind, good people, that are accepting and really willing to work with students of diverse backgrounds. And so those would be the types of student that we're looking for.
But how has that conversation kind of changed during the pandemic? Because maybe there were a lot of students that would have gone out and volunteered, but they haven't during the pandemic. And maybe it's because out of interest of a family member or loved one that lives with them that they're concerned about their safety. So is that area open for conversation for some of these students to be able to explain maybe their lack of volunteerism during this time?
Absolutely. You know, we talk about even if you're not going out into the world right now and doing some type of service, how are you serving at home, right? If you have siblings, how are you helping your parents or guardians with your siblings? How are you contributing to what's going on in your household? And so it can definitely be smaller scale right now, but we just want to make sure that there's a mentality of thinking of others.
So I'm guessing, how did you help your siblings? If you say, well, I tied them up and put tape over their mouth so they'd be quiet so I could get through the day, wouldn't be a good thing to add to that application.
Probably not. No, probably something more along the lines of helping with remote learning, you know, maybe playing a board game with them to entertain them for parents in the evening, something like that would be great.
Actually, I have to tell you, I come from a family of 9, and my twin sister and I were the youngest. So the stories we could tell you, but it's a good thing that we were older because today people would be like, what? You know, back in the day, it was just like, yeah, that's what you did.
Mhm.
You know, we didn't have video games to entertain us. We had to entertain ourselves.
Right.
Ashleigh Larkin with us here on the MegaCast. She's the head of the school over at Oakland Early College. It is such an incredible program. Ashleigh, quickly before we let you go, is there a deadline for students to be able to apply for this?
So we actually are currently working on what that deadline will be, but we will interview and look at students all the way typically up through June and July. And so, you know, students have several months here to apply.
Well, thank you so much. Anything quickly that I didn't ask that maybe you want to share before we let you go?
You know, I'm very proud to be part of this school. Like you said, it's an amazing opportunity for students. We have amazing staff here. The culture and the community that has been present and has been created in this building is just amazing. And so I would love to talk to any student and their family that's interested in joining and being a part of that.
It really is an amazing program, and it can save families so much money. But on top of that, too, the students get a jump on their college education as well. So, Ashleigh, thank you for being with us, and we wish you continued success in 2021.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on.